What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is July the 16th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data points, we have two big ones to watch for. Both are coming out in the pre-market. One is PPI, the other is manufacturing. We also do have a couple Fed speakers that could really move the market. So we'll have to wait and see how that does all play out. But the market is ultimately looking for a reason to really move higher. And unfortunately, didn't really get that from CPI yesterday. So the market is going to be really looking at these data points rather closely. Aside from all that though, you do see the futures somewhat just mixed. And that's actually no different than during the overnight. It was relatively mixed, low volume. So big money is just waiting for the data to come out to justify if we are going to be moving back on higher or if we are going to consolidate a little bit more. But Dow is up 0.27, S&P it is up 0.06, NASDAQ down 0.07. So like I said, somewhat mixed. Aside from that though, yesterday it did finally break off of the extreme greed category, moving to the greed. Still, based on the stocks I'm going to be talking on, people's appetite for risk is on the table, but you could see some extra volatility as a kind of byproduct of all this. Aside from all that fun stuff, SoFi is down slightly, nothing overly crazy. No news, no SEC filings associated to them today. 14.32% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 155 million shares. Shorts haven't really been doing all that much lately over the last two trading days. They've just let kind of the larger institutions sell off and they just sit back and relax. So I do anticipate them to be fairly active Thursday and Friday. Not really today either, maybe depending on the data, but just keep that in mind that they are starting to peak and finally return a small amount. But aside from that, with it at 2091, it is trading currently between these 2 points. So the pivot in this S1, so 2106 followed by 2145 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points, and then 2067 followed by 2043 is going to be the next strong support levels. And I'm looking at the 1 minute chart, so it's very finite right here. So let me know your viewpoint if you plan on buying SoFi today, or are you kind of selling out? What's your general thoughts? Moving on, ticker is BMNR. So a lot of people thought this was down and out ever since it had that nice run to $161. That's the 52-week high, but it is up 18.19%. No real crazy news from them at all today. Rather, it is because of this. So the 13D and G that was submitted, that seems to have awoken institutions to start looking at this stock a little bit closer. So that's maybe a good thing, maybe not. But still, nonetheless, though, I think you definitely do need that attention for any momentum play. But 12.4% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 573,000 shares. This is exactly what the market likes to squeeze. Somewhat heavily shorted, low float. So you might have a lot of squeeze chasers, if that's even a thing, kind of targeting that, as well as a lot of influencers. They love to bring this type of stock up. Aside from that though, with it at 46 and change, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 42 is going to be a strong support, and then 54.50 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. In reality, I actually see both could be potentially touched with the data. So with negative data, PPI could really bring it down, or vice versa. It could really incentivize some additional momentum and hitting that 54. But regardless, this is going to be a day trader's stock for today, so just keep that in mind. Moving on is DPRO. It is up 18.5%, and there was this news that came out, and so ultimately this is it. So I'm not going to dive deep into this 100%, but ultimately that's what is causing it to go up. A huge amount of volume, in fact, but 9.83% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 1.22 million shares. So the stock has been slowly appreciating, but from what you can see, shorts just went like full on max and just doubled down over the last couple of trading days. So it was always sitting roughly around that 4.5%. So this kind of orange or whatever line it is, it really doubled down. So yeah, it's shorts will be fairly active today. Moral of the story, with it at 419 though, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 410 is going to be a strong support, and then flip side 472 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So in my opinion, I think this R1 will be a key pivot to watch for it to hold today, and depending on, again, the data, it could keep it above that or potentially below it. But again, I think this is going to be also another stock day trader's dream in addition to this one. So it is up 8.25% RGTI, and that is because of this news right here. So hitting 95% fidelity milestone, that's what's causing some hype today. As far as shorts, no different than a lot of the other stocks that I have brought up so far, somewhat heavily shorted, rather overextended. 19.34% of the free float's being shorted, works out to be 55.3 million shares. It with it right now at 1389. It is trading between this R2 and this R1, so 1392 is going to be a key pivot, and if broken, could really signal a further push higher, because above that is 1517, and we've seen with RGTI that it can easily move up. So this one as well is going to be a day trader's dream. Flip side, 13 to 15 is going to be a strong support, and depending on the data, could potentially be touched, but I feel like given the news and just the momentum, big money getting in, it is going to be really moving higher. So I don't really see this 13, 15 being touched, but regardless, day traders will love this stock. Moving on, and last but not least, is ticker NUWE. It is up 141%. No official news, no SEC filings. Rather, it is this over here. So there was a new patent filed, and that was done after hours yesterday. So good stuff. This is obviously to dive deep into it. It's a little bit over my head just for a pre-market type of video, but this is what's causing so much attention with it today. So do some additional due diligence and all the other fun jazz. Not heavily shorted, so 0.1% of the free float is being shorted, so no point in even bringing that up. But with it right now at 1655, it is trading between this pivot and this S1, so 1915 will be a key pivot if you're going to see a continued push higher. So regardless, this should be a pretty good day trader's dream as well, no different than any other stock. But 1915, I think, will also signal a greater push higher. So I do feel realistically, just given the amount of volume versus what it normally does get, this 1915, it could easily be broken. But if it does fail, then you'll see a significant amount of consolidation. So very wide gaps. So just anticipate a lot of volatility with this stock. Let me know your thoughts on pretty much the stocks, what big money is really focusing on. Are you buying anything today? Are you selling? What's your general thoughts? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.